What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Stylish Grease Monkey. My name is Chris. I hope you're doing well. I have I have one day to move out of my house and then 4 days to fly back to Hawaii. You ready? I'll try to make a couple of videos before I leave, including this one. This time I'm gonna talk about, real quick, last time I talked about ideal men's height and weight. And today I'm gonna talk about our internal stuff. Blood pressure and just what's going on inside, right? I know that we're so focused about the external, physical appearance. Believe me, you can still be skinny, but you can be unhealthy inside, and I've seen a lot of people. Today, I had news that one of my friends, not a close friend, but one of my friends passed away. Had a heart attack. Didn't even know had heart disease, because you just never check what's inside, right? We always rely on what's outside. So today I'm going to talk about that as I venture my way around Okinawa with my dental appointment here in town. And of course, talking while I'm driving, but I'm trying to be safe, okay? More to follow. While I'm here, I'm gonna stop by at my favorite thrift store, which is Manga, because this is pretty far away from where I live. Anyways, last time I talked about ideal men's weight, and that has a correlation to longevity, being healthy, and things like that as we grow old. Now I'm gonna talk about blood pressure, right? I can tell you that 98, 95, 98% of the population do not even check on the daily now their blood pressure. Now, maybe that's a little bit too much on the daily, but not a lot of people understand what blood pressure is. Look, I'm not a doctor. However, as I get older, I need to be able to know what's going on inside of me, and the best indicator of heart health is blood pressure. If you can keep your blood pressure into an ideal number, then every day your body is ticking properly, right? There's a lot of things that affect high blood pressure as well as low blood pressure, but I'm talking about high blood pressure because that is one way that things can go haywire and probably cause you to die if you have too high of a blood pressure. All right, everybody. Every time you see me, I'm eating. Nothing wrong with that, right? You have to maintain the right blood pressure. American Heart Association talks about the different blood pressures, and that it is probably one of the most indication of bad internals. It could be that your heart is overworking because your blood pressure is high, or your arteries are clogged, and that your heart is definitely working hard when your arteries are clogged, and it eventually could cause a rupture of your veins, and then that would be bad. So you gotta keep track of your blood pressure. My blood pressure has been really good the last couple of years. There are times in which I'm stressed out, or if it's hot outside, or I'm just moving too much, that the blood pressure is bad. Blood pressure does not coincide with weight, right? There are a lot of people that are skinny but yet have high blood pressure because of just the internal things going on. Maybe they're eating too much salt, their heart is working too hard to pump the blood around their body, or stressed. You know, a lot of factors affect that. But you can't go by weight, right? There are people that are light, very skinny, that have really high blood pressure, and there are people like me that's over 200 pounds. And yes, given I go to the gym, but I don't base my health on going to the gym and doing all of the things that trying to be healthy, because I know that my heart is not seen from the outside, and you have to keep track of it. You know, this is just one thing on our health that we have to do as we get older. Now, another thing is that I know that you see me eating a lot of snacks and sweet things. You know, I also keep track of my sugar in my blood. I tell you though, the intermittent fasting, every time I'm on intermittent fasting, that helps my blood pressure and my blood sugar become really low, right? One of the benefits of intermittent fasting. In case you're wondering what I'm eating, this is the almond pistachio and sugar cane. I love ice cream, guys. This is my arch nemesis, ice cream. So how to prevent blood pressure from rising? Oh, so many factors, guys. Best thing I can tell you is maybe see a doctor and ask for their recommendation. But the American Heart Association is really good about putting some recommendations on there, and if you follow them, more than likely there's a huge good chance that your blood pressure will go down, or will help it, right? Stress. You know, you heard us saying, you know, a happy heart is a healthy heart. That's really true. People that are stressed, their heart's obviously not happy, and thus their blood pressure and their heart is beating too fast. You know, your stress level rises, and so does your blood pressure. So in the long term, if you have a lot of stress that's just chronic, keeps on happening to you, you got to find a way to de-stress. And I've talked about that before. You know, exercise, sleeping, just being happy, avoiding the negative things in your life, avoiding stress. I tell you, aside from cancer, I think stress is probably the most that affects all of us, and probably the most that kills people in America, because we just stress out about everything. You know, and that's something that I tried not to do. Don't get me wrong, right? We need stress. In fact, when you're exercising, you're being stressed. So you need stress, but I'm talking about acute stress that's, you know, from work or from just life in general, that's giving you a headache, giving you I don't know, all kinds of health problems. That is what you call acute stress, and that is not good. So you have to do something about that. How do you check blood pressure? Well, there are many ways. One is to go to the doctor and have your doctor check for your blood pressure, but one thing you can do is buy your own blood pressure equipment. It's not that expensive. They're fairly cheap. and they last a long time. So I would highly suggest you look into some of the drugstores or even Amazon sells blood pressure equipment. Once you get a hold of your blood pressure equipment, I suggest also, hey, remember, I'm not a doctor, but this is what I've done. Suggest for you to take your blood pressure 3 times a day, in the morning, in the afternoon, and then before you go to bed for a week or 2, depending on what you want to do, but about a week. And then take the average of that and then tell your doctor what you got, right? Then your doctor will recommend whether you have high blood pressure, what category you fall into, and then they'll provide medication for you to control it and bring it back down. Now, there are other things. You're gonna have to do a lifestyle change if you have high blood pressure right now, and you have to admit to yourself that you need to make a change, right? Most of us feel that we're not manly enough or macho. We all feel macho. We feel like we can defeat anything, including the facts of life. And it is sometimes the fact of life that you just have high blood pressure. You don't know what's going on inside of you until you look, right? And most men, I would say, are macho. I mean, they don't want to do that. They don't want to admit that they have high blood pressure. But if you have chronic high blood pressure, and it goes on for a long time, it could damage your heart, and it will cause death ultimately if you don't get to it pretty quickly or do a lifestyle change, right? Real quick on the numbers, you go to health.org and they have a chart on the numbers. A typical number should be below 120/80. 120 being the systolic, which is the pressure on your heart arteries whenever your heart is beating, and then the diastolic is the lower number, which is the pressure on your heart, on your artery walls while your heartbeat is at rest or in between rest. And you can imagine, of course, that if it's really high, that pressure will build up and it could stress your heart and other things, right? And you don't want to do that. So that's how you should go about looking at high blood pressure. Again, majority of men, I would say 95% of men feel macho, and they don't want to feel otherwise. That's why they don't admit. But for somebody that's a little bit older, even younger people, right? And I always hear it. I had a friend that passed away at the age of 37 because he had a brain aneurysm, and that had a lot to do with pressure on your artery walls. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. I hope you learned something from this video. Just real quick again, I am not a doctor, but this is based on my experience and based on how I watch my own health. And I hope you do the same, right? Till next time.